Hello learners, welcome to my YouTube channel N-TechXom.
In this video, we will learn role and rituals. Once we complete this video, you should be able to describe what a Scrum team is, what roles are represented in a Scrum team, and describe what a sprint is and explain the events that are a part of each sprint. We are going to begin by focusing on the three roles of Scrum. These three roles are comprised of the product owner, who is the customer voice, the scrum master, and the development team. The product owner is responsible for the product success by defining the project vision, requirements, and priorities. The development team comprises 6 plus or minus 3 people with a mix of roles and skills, is self-organizing and determines how best to meet the goals of the product owner. The Scrum Master is a facilitator and servant leader who assists both the product owner and the development team to be successful in their respective roles. Together, the development team and the Scrum Master make up what we call the Scrum team. Scrum team are self-organizing and cross-functional. Self-organizing team choose how they are going to accomplish their work rather than being part of a command and control environment where others are dictating what and how things need to be done. Scrum team delivers project results iteratively and incrementally. Incremental in deliveries of completed work ensure that a potentially useful or shippable version of the product is always available. The product owner is responsible for maximizing the value of the product and work completed by the development team. The product owner is responsible for creating and managing the product backlog, includes creating and clearly communicating product backlog items. Prioritize the product backlog items in order to optimize the value of the work being done by the development team. While the product owner is surely responsible for the product backlog, this work is not done in the vacuum. Rather than product owner will do this in collaborations and with the assistance from the development team. With the product owner focusing on functional features and development team focusing on the non-functional items, the product owner and no one else is responsible for defining the scope of the project. The primary responsibility of the Scrum Master is to ensure that Scrum is understood and enacted. This is done by ensuring that the Scrum team is here to Scrum theory, practices, and rules. The Scrum Master is a servant leader, and the Scrum Master helps those who are not part of the Scrum team understand how best to enact it with the Scrum team. The Scrum Master serves the product owner by finding techniques for effective product backlog management, facilitating the creation of clear and concise product backlog items, facilitating Scrum events, and maximizing returns on investment for the product. The Scrum Master serves the development team by coaching and mentoring the team in self-organizations and cross-functionality, removing impediments to the team progress, facilitating Scrum events, and coaching the team on how best to do Scrum. Remember, the Scrum Master is a facilitator, mentor, and coach, and Scrum Master is never a manager. The development team is a group of people who will actually do the work of delivering the product of the project. Development team are structured and empowered to organize and manage their own work. The size of the development team should be 6 plus or minus 3. Team having more than 9 members generate too much complexity and require too much coordination. In another word, they are no longer agile. The characteristics of the development team includes their self-organizing. No one, not even Scrum Master, tell the development team how to perform their own work. They are cross-functional with all of the skills necessary to create the product of the project. And there are no sub-team in the development team. There may be team member with specialized skills, but accountability belongs to the development team as a whole. Let's talk about Scrum events or rituals. These are the main Scrum events: the sprint planning meeting, the daily Scrum, the sprint review meeting, and sprint retrospective. Let's review one by one. The sprint is the heart of the Scrum. A sprint is a time box period of time during which the development team create potentially shippable product. The duration of the sprint is usually 2 to 4 weeks in length, although it could be as short as 1 week or as long as 6 weeks. But that's generally not recommended. A sprint contains in this sequence the sprint planning meeting, daily scrum, the development work, sprint review, and then the sprint retrospective. During the sprint, no changes are made that would endanger the sprint goal. Quality goals do not decrease, and scope may be clarified and renegotiated with the product owner as more as learned. The sprint planning is used to determine the work that is going to be performed during the sprint. The development team, the product owner, and the scrum master attend the sprint planning meeting. It is a time box event scheduled for last 2 hours for each week of the sprint duration. So if we are gonna to be doing a 2 week sprint, the sprint planning meeting would be for 4 hours. The first half of the meeting is to select the user stories to be completed during the sprint. The second half of the meeting is to determine how the work necessary is going to be done. At the end of the sprint planning meeting, the development team should be able to explain the product owner and the scrum master how it is going to be accomplished the sprint goal. And the important message here, once a sprint begin, no additional product backlog items are added or removed from the sprint. The daily scrum is a time box meeting no longer than 15 minutes. It's used by the development team to synchronize their activities and create a plan for the next 24 hours. This is accomplished by each of the development team member answering three questions: what I did yesterday, what am I gonna do today, and what are my impediments. The daily scrum should ideally take place at the same time and place every day, and this is usually at the beginning of the workday, while the scrum master ensures that the development this meeting. The development team is responsible for conducting it, and Scrum Master and Product Owner both are optional for this meeting. The sprint review is held at the end of the sprint to inspect and result of the sprint and potentially make changes to the product backlog. The main purpose of the sprint review is to obtain feedback and faster collaborations. The sprint review is a time box meeting lasting 1 hour for each week of the sprint. So, if we are doing a sprint review for 2 weeks sprint, it should last no longer than 2 hours. In addition to the development team, the scrum master and the product owner should be presented. It also likely and advisable that the team would have the customers or the end users present as well as other key stakeholders representing the business interest of the performing organization. During the sprint review meeting, the development team demonstrate the work that was completed during the sprint. The product owner accept or reject the work of the sprint. The product backlog is revised and reprioritized based on the result of the sprint and the feedback obtained. The sprint Retrospective is an opportunity for the Scrum team to inspect itself and determine how best to implement improvements for the next sprint. This is a time box event with 45 minutes allotted for each week of the sprint duration. So, for 2 week sprints, the durations would be 1.5 hours. The sprint retrospective focuses on three main questions: what went well, what did not go well, and what's going to be done differently. Sometimes there's fourth questions that's deal with, which is what are going to just wait and deal with later. Put it in a box, it's a time frame box. The sprint retrospective focuses on work of the project and never devolves into blaming individual team member. If a Scrum team is not doing and performing a sprint retrospective meeting, it is not doing a Scrum. This is a critical event in Scrum, and continuous improvements will not be achieved without it. Let's review what we have covered in this lesson. We have covered Scrum team and its members. We have covered the role of product owner, Scrum master, and the development team. And we have covered sprint events in detail.
Hello learners, please like and subscribe my YouTube channel so I can prepare some more valuable videos for you. Thank you.